Hello and welcome back to another of our news episodes of Taking Control of Cancer, where myself, Steve Bland, and Femi Odewale go through how cancer is making, breaking, creating the news in a particular month. This is June 2026 and there's a bit to talk about, but we also have, Femi, a special guest with us.
We do indeed.
Hello, Nellie Gbadebo. How are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm great, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming and joining us. And it's kind of newsy, I guess, but there's a reason you're joining us. But we're going to talk about a special event that you and the Alliance are involved with. You're the CEO and founder, I think, of Touchy-Feely, aren't you?
That's correct.
Do you want to first of all just explain what Touchy-Feely is, and maybe a bit about your story as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So Touchy-Feely is the number one creative and cultural voice for those affected by cancer. We platform the voices of those that don't receive the representation in traditional cancer care or cancer news. And Touchy-Feely was actually founded due to my own lived experience with cancer. So at 26, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. That was in 2023. And I actually had the cancer in 2 pregnancies and didn't know that I had the cancer. So it was a very, very unique experience, I would say. And it happened with my second pregnancy, where I found a lump in the breast. And when I shared my concerns with the midwife, it was just like a dismissal of, oh, well, you're not breastfeeding, and that's what happens. If you don't breastfeed, there's stored up milk and there's lumps. And I just thought, okay, fine, she's the professional, I'm going to trust her. 2 months later, I fell pregnant again. And in that pregnancy, I found another lump in the armpit. And that's when my husband and I knew that something was wrong. So I spoke to a GP about it. I was then referred, I had the biopsies, and was told that it was actually breast cancer that had spread to the lymph nodes. And at that time, that was really hard because it just sort of made me think, wow, I whilst I was pregnant with new life, I was actually carrying around this cancer in the same body.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that was possible. I had a lumpectomy, radiotherapy, chemotherapy. And at 26, I was medically induced into menopause as part of my treatment. So that would be the case for the foreseeable future. I am still in my menopause as a result. And that is because of the breast cancer that I had. It fed off of the estrogen. And obviously being pregnant, my body sort of produced a lot of that. And just as a way to keep the cancer from returning, they said, look, let's just drop the estrogen level all the way down. It means that you're in menopause, but it just tries to keep the risk low. Because I was diagnosed at 26, the chances of it coming back within the next 10 years is significantly higher than a woman diagnosed in her 50s. So that was something I had to really wrap my head around as well, because not only did chemotherapy and radiotherapy obviously do a number on the body, but being induced into menopause overnight, where I don't get the natural state of perimenopause. It just sort of happened within 24 hours. Takes a toll on the body. So but in all of that, amazing things happened. I shared my story and connected with brilliant individuals. And I always say that cancer is the worst club where you meet some of the best people.
Yeah.
And
said that so many times on our BBC podcast, You Mean the Big C. It's one of the kind of mottos, the worst way to meet the best people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Touchy-Feely was founded because when I shared my story prior to diagnosis, I was a content creator for over 10 years. And when I shared my story, I connected with hundreds of women online. And I realized that they were dealing with similar experiences as myself. I remember when I was about to receive radiotherapy, I Googled what are the effects of radiotherapy on black skin. Couldn't find much. I asked my team, oncology, and they said, look, you're going to go pink like you've been sunburned. And I thought, I don't sunburn and I definitely won't go pink.
Yeah.
So when I shared that online and I spoke to people, I just thought, you know what? I'm going to use my platform. I'm going to leverage my network and I'm going to create a nonprofit. And we're going to use all of our voices and create this platform so that women that don't have a platform can share their stories.
It's
And
fantastic.
that is touchy feely at
It's
present.
fantastic. I think it's brilliant, isn't it, Femi? When the obviously everyone's story is different, but the I love it when someone turns
Mm,
something really awful and nasty and bad and life changing and
yeah.
difficult in so many ways, and actually decides, well, I'm going to make something good out of this.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn it into something positive, and that's exactly what Nellie's done. It's fantastic.
No, it's great news, and we are so excited to be working with you, Nelly. I think we've said it on all of our podcasts.
Yeah.
Sharing stories is the most kind of authentic, most is the best way to kind of reach out to people to kind of discuss signs and symptoms.
Yeah.
So I think your story and actually your network is one that actually it's amazing that you're reaching out via your network. You've created Touchy Feely to really push the narrative forward and obviously the myths, bust the myths,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
support people in similar circumstances. But we've also had conversations with the Menopause Society and some of the other um, um, charities that we've worked with who have mentioned exactly this, that people don't quite realize that actually it drives you into menopause, early menopause.
yeah,
And
yeah,
they've done a whole, we did a whole podcast on that, didn't
yeah. We
we?
did with Danny Biddington from
Yeah.
her charity, but it's there are so many things that people don't know, and I think particularly we talk a lot about kind of cultural differences and
Mm,
different like skin colors and skin types and the impact. We've talked with Black Women Rising, didn't we, a couple of years
mm,
ago, Femi, about
Mm.
they were talking about
the
the color of
procedures as well.
prosthetics, for example, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
things like this that are just so difficult to to understand why it's not been sorted,
Mm,
and to you guys to make people feel a little bit less alone.
Absolutely. I think it's actually it's more than anything, it's quite sad, isn't it? Like even down to literature, and when we're
Yeah,
speaking to patients in oncology and we're showing them, examples of what things may look like on their skin, it shouldn't be that we need to flick through 50 odd pages before we
mm,
get to someone that has black or brown skin. And that also brings me to our docu-film that we actually produced. And we done a screening for earlier this year, and we're doing another one in July for Ethnic Minority Cancer Awareness Month. And it's following two touchy-feely members that are receiving cancer treatment. So that's chemotherapy and radiotherapy. Um, and the difference is, and what I'm incredibly proud of the team that we were able to capture, is the difficulties in navigating the healthcare system with a language barrier.
yeah,
mm,
I find that with the work that we've done thus far, we always assume that the patient speaks English, right? And it's
mm,
just an issue of skin tone, or their ethnic background. But what happens to the patient that's it's an immigrant and English isn't their first language,
yeah,
and they're not able to express their concerns, their fears, their questions, without having a family member present, and then the toll that that takes and the pressure that that puts on the family setup at home. So
yeah.
we were able to explore that in this docu-film, and I'm incredibly proud, of that body of work. And when we after this second screening, we hope to take this on tour as well. So
Excellent. Where can people see that? The one that's already been done.
yeah, so it's already been done. At present, they can't see it just yet. We're
Okay.
having another
Okay.
intimate screening in July, and
Cool.
after that screening, we'll be able to put it up on the
Excellent.
platform.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing that.
Yeah,
Um, as Femi said, the Alliance and Touchy Feely are working together on this really exciting event on the 18th of July
yeah.
called the Girls' Bathroom. Nellie, tell me all about the Girls' Bathroom.
Oh, I love the girls' bathroom. It makes me so happy. Look, we this is something that you gentlemen may not be aware of, but there's a universal non-judgment code in the women's bathroom, in a restaurant, in a club, where we can talk to
Barbershop,
each
isn't
other.
it?
Sorry?
It's like the barbershop then, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Where we can talk to each other, we can ask questions. It can be, have you got a spare pad, a spare tampon? Oh my God, this guy's a creep. Like, bail me out of this conversation. It's anything, and no one's going to judge you, right?
Yeah,
And
like
I
a safe
wanted to
space.
bring that exact same concept, feeling, energy into a space that we can offer to the public free of charge. Accessibility is super important to us at Touchy-Feely, and that was one of the main focus, to make this an event where they can access, and we remove as many barriers as possible. So when I reached out to the alliance and I said, look, I know what where you need support. um as I said, Touchy Feely, we're the number one creative and cultural voice. We're here to make this happen. This is the concept, and I think it's going to do exceptionally well, and it has proven to do so. We have not announced it just yet, and we're almost at 100 tickets gone. um
Fantastic.
and that is just us having it up on Eventbrite. We've made no announcement just yet. So clearly there is a need for it and people want it. It's from 12 to 4 p.m. on the 18th of July. The setup inside pretty much looks like the inside of the girls' bathroom.
Yeah,
We have a live DJ bringing R&B, amapiano vibes. And then we also have 4 doctors on the day,
great.
specializing in both breast health and gynae health, so that the women can come in and ask all the questions that's in their notes.
Where is it, Nellie? Where is this being held?
Shoreditch.
Okay,
So
Shoreditch.
yeah, Shoreditch. I like to think of Shoreditch as like the cultural hub of East London.
Right.
And then we've got obviously the surrounding neighboring areas that would be able to join us. So it's going to be great. What I'm saying when I'm speaking to like close friends, I'm saying, look, think of it as um, a GP appointment, but with a DJ in the background. You're having a good time, and without the waiting times. Let's
It
just
sounds
remove.
much better than a GP appointment.
Yeah.
That sounds far better. Among that 100 people that have already signed up, what kind of people do you know? Do you know the ages? Kind of, are they people with cancer already? Maybe a
Yes.
relative has it. What kind of people are coming already?
So we're finding that there is quite a 25 to 40-year-old sort of demographic, and loads from the Black and brown community, which is exactly who we are targeting, because we find that they are the harder to reach communities, for several reasons. And essentially, this is a space that is targeted for that community, for those communities, especially during Ethnic Minority Cancer Awareness Month, a month that is incredibly important in our calendar, because we find that with the other months, our voices are sort of ribbon washed, by different colored ribbons and the white experience. So during this month, to put on an event like this means everything, and we're happy that those that are interested in registering interest and getting tickets, it's landing exactly with who it needs to.
That sounds fantastic. Femi, what do you reckon? You're going to head along?
Well, yeah, I
Are you
mean,
allowed? Is Femi allowed to go?
I was gonna say, am I even allowed? I mean, the inside of a woman's bathroom, and I don't.
You might
Yeah,
learn something, Femi. It might be
I'll be there
life
to support.
changing for you to see the inside of a women's bathroom.
Well, do you know what? It may not be life changing to see the inside of a woman's bathroom, but it will be life changing if you attended. Because
Absolutely.
even though
Yeah.
you're a man, I'm sure you have a mum, a sister, an auntie, a cousin, a friend, a
Mm,
partner, a spouse, a colleague. And I always say men are our allies. When we do this work, it's important for men to be in a room. We don't do the like men that way, women that way. We come together and we support one another, because we know that there will be a time where you may need to advocate for a woman in your life. And you should also know the signs, because men aren't exempt
Yeah.
from breast cancer, and that we know. So men are, of course, welcomed to join as well.
There you
okay,
go, Femi.
okay.
Saturday, 18th of July, midday till 4 p.m.
Yeah,
I love this line, Femi. Come for the knowledge, stay for the vibes, and leave with information that could save your life or someone
Love
else's. That's brilliant, isn't it?
that's
Yeah, love
it.
that.
That's the vibe. That is the vibe.
Well, Nellie, thank you so much. just stick around for a couple of minutes because we've got a couple of other stories. I would love your opinion on. The first one, you may have seen in the news this week. Jeremy Clarkson's revealed his prostate cancer diagnosis on his farming show. Now, we should say he's just revealed it, but we think the series was shot in either 2024 or 2025. So we don't really know the state of his cancer now. But I guess the kind of broader point that we've talked about loads of times, Femi, haven't we? That the impact of somebody like him talking about their cancer is absolutely huge. Particularly, we think it's prostate cancer, don't we? He said he's had some of his prostate taken out. On prostate cancer, that I don't get the impression that we're all as clued up as we should be on.
No, and again, we've always said it. We say it every single time. We love the fact that celebrities are raising their personal circumstances. It helps to raise awareness. We love that. I think from a Cancer Alliance perspective, we have done quite a few podcasts and recordings on the prostate. I think the last one of the ones that we did that we recorded on World Prostate Cancer Day was with Dr. Olajide and one of my team members, Rishi, from Cancer Alliance. Again, we've done some campaigns on prostate. We had a prostate van that's been traveling around Northeast London to raise awareness. And another recent podcast or recent. I mean, the thing about this as well, there is also going to be an effect. And I was just at a meeting earlier on with some of our operational leads at in some of our hospitals. And we were saying that, look, be aware that one, there's some campaigns that are coming up. Two, Jeremy Clarkson has just recently made it known that he had aggressive prostate cancer. And then what we tend to see when these types of things occur, and I think we've spoken about this as well before, Steve, is that we start to see referrals starting to increase, especially, as celebrities discuss signs and symptoms. So again, we're expecting to see increases in referrals across the patch, just as this is being discussed and people look more into this as well.
Yeah, it's really important, isn't it? We did a couple of episodes. It was we're recording this on the 19th of June. It was World Prostate Cancer Day last week, and I went down to Goodman's Field medical practice in Whitechapel, and we spoke to Dr. Toby Lambeth in one episode, and as you say, Bumi Olajide and Rishi Athwal in the other episode, talking about prostate cancer, all about men's health, all the issues around that. They had a big drop-in event at the GP practice in Whitechapel where all kinds of chaps was stopping by for advice to get blood tests they were having at the event. All sorts of things going on. It was fantastic. So yeah, brilliant. Nellie, do you see this when there's a somebody with a bit of a profile, somebody in the kind of public eye shares their story? Do you see a bit more traffic on your site?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it just comes down to also the power of influence. Like these celebrities, they have influence on their supporters and their fans. And it's always, again, like, it's a really terrible and tragic thing to be diagnosed with cancer. Like, no one ever wants that to happen. But it's always just so, I guess, heartwarming to see someone make that brave decision to share their story online and for the world to see, because it is a vulnerable thing or a vulnerable place to be in. But to essentially sort of flip it on its head and say, well, you know what, this is what it is now, and these are my symptoms, and if it can help save you or a loved one, then by all means, you know what I mean? So it's really sad to hear, and I guess my regards to him and then his loved ones.
That's such an important word, brave. It is a brave decision to share it. And I think more so if you are in the public eye, I think it's, more powerful, but I think it does take a little bit more because, all the spotlight's going to come on you now and everything,
I think,
for good reasons as well. Lots of the spotlight comes on them.
I think all for the good reasons. And another reason why I say it's so brave is because we can't ignore the, the way that cancer can be perceived by some, and in terms of work as well. I guess a lot of question comes with, are you fit for work? Are you still able to carry on with this or with that? It really does affect your day-to-day life, and people don't really think about that. So yeah, I think very, very, very brave thing for him to do, and I speedy recovery um for him, for sure.
Absolutely. The other one I want to talk about is obviously we had the NHS 10-year cancer plan
Oh yeah.
quite recently revealed. We've now had a joint declaration from leaders of the G7 to accelerate global alignment in cancer research, prevention and screening, explicitly aimed to bring the global elimination of cervical cancer within reach. Now, it's fantastic, isn't it? When, I think we've talked about the kind of national cancer plan a lot, but it's brilliant when you get really, really influential people putting cancer right at the forefront of their decision making. Loads of commitment on improving outcomes, early diagnosis. It's all the kind of stuff that we love talking about, Femi.
We do, and again, I mean, if it helps it to accelerate, diagnosis, if it helps to absolutely focus and provides the necessary funding for the continuously ever-changing kind of cancer world, and it then absolutely is all completely welcomed. I mean, anything in this space is welcomed, because this is a battle that I think globally we're all in it together to fight. So yeah, it's great news hearing that. It'll be interesting to see how this kind of translate in the detail. The devil's always behind the detail, but it'll be great to see what this translates into. But I mean, yeah, I mean the headline sounds amazing, and again, it's putting the focus on the battle.
That's the thing, Nellie, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
we've seen. I've been involved in the kind of cancer world now for nearly 10 years. We see announcements and pledges and commitments like semi-regularly from the various bodies, leaders, influential people. And as Femi says, the devil's always in the detail, isn't it? What do we actually see? What impact does it actually make on the people going through treatment, people looking for a diagnosis as early as possible?
Yeah, exactly. And like Femi said, like it's a global thing. I mean, I think cervical cancer is the fourth most common cancer globally for women. And something that I really do believe in is that cancer is everyone's business. And that's one of our missions at Touchy-Feely. We don't just speak about cancer and keep that conversation within the cancer community. There's kind of, not that there's no point, but we want to get that message out to people so that they know how to deal with it, like should they encounter it, because again, cancer is a 1 in 2 globally. So I think it, like both of you are saying, it would be really interesting to see how it affects people on a day-to-day basis. And everything is always a kind of a concept until it actually happens.
Yeah, for sure.
So it would be interesting to see the measurable impact.
Yeah, measurable impact. That's what we're after, isn't it? Actually, something you can say, that's what they did. This is the impact it made, because I think that's often the challenge.
Yeah.
Right, guys, that's it. Nellie, let's just have one quick reminder. Give us the headline, the event. Where can people find tickets? First of all, actually, that's maybe an important thing. And just a quick recap of the event.
Yes. So Saturday, the 18th of July 2026, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., Touchy-Feely and the NHS will be hosting the Girls' Bathroom at Unlocked in Shoreditch. You can get your tickets on Eventbrite. If you search our name, Touchy-Feely will come up. The event is live. I believe it's also on the Cancer Alliance website, on the news and update section. We'll be announcing very, very soon, within the next 7 days, so our socials as well, which is We Get Touchy-Feely. So yes, guys, we honestly just can't wait to welcome you all, and yeah, grab your tickets. I mean, they're free.
Exciting times. Femi, thank you so much. Nellie, thank you so much as well. We look forward to maybe catching up after the event as well and finding out how it's all gone.
Absolutely, yes, let's do it.
That'd be great. Let's do it. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thanks.
See ya. Bye.